Hope beyond pandemic is like a hazelnut. Hope comes in the smallest of things that can change and transform our lives. Julian of Norwich lived in the 14th century, and she spent virtually all of her 70 plus years living in a time of pandemic, a time of plague. She had numerous spiritual visions which opened her eyes and senses to the wideness of God's love. In one of her visions, she's in conversation with God and she has a hazelnut in her hand. And she says, "Why does this hazelnut exist?" And God answers us, this hazelnut exists because God loves it, God sustains it, and creative wisdom keeps it going and energizes it from moment to moment. The smallest of things can make the greatest of differences. Jesus spoke of a mustard seed growing into a great plant and then providing shelter for all those around. Hope within and beyond pandemic is grounded on the belief that what we do each moment matters, that the future is not preordained, that God's plan is open rather than closed, that the details of our life are unfolding rather than predetermined, that in this interdependent world, we are agents of destiny. We are the changes we're looking for. We're the ones we've been waiting for. Hope is like a hazelnut. Hope is like a hazelnut that allows us to change the world, one act, one moment, one experience at a time. In these days of pandemic, many of us are monastics, but we might be monastics a bit like Julian of Norwich, whose apartment at the Cathedral of Norwich had 2 windows. One window was into the church building, the sanctuary, the other out on the street. We can be monastics deepening our spiritual lives in this time of pandemic and deepening them in light of what's going on in the world. We can see the injustices. We can see the violence. We can see the ineptitude and lack of compassion of leaders. And we can respond to them out of a place of wholeness, of grace and peace, speaking truth to power, seeking healing, prophetic healing, challenging the structures of injustice, aware that everyone is a child of God. Hope is like a hazelnut. Hope beyond pandemic is like a hazelnut. We see a glimpse of the far shore, the far horizon that lures us forward, and it inspires us to be God's companions, one moment and one day at a time, planting seeds of healing and wholeness and transformation in our own lives, in our relationships, and in our political lives, to be God's companions in healing the world.